My ex-mother-in-law sent her church friends to harass my daughters and me. I've now exposed her and her family to their church community, and she's being shamed and shunned there. My daughters have a strained relationship with my ex-husband's parents. My ex passed away in an accident last year, and since then, there's been major family drama, mainly because he was cheating and left behind 2 sons born from his affair. The affair partner also died, leaving those boys orphaned. Part of the drama has involved my ex-in-laws trying to gain custody of my daughters and attempting to live with us. The custody issue is going to court, and the second part? That's never happening. Where we live, there's a weekend market with fresh produce, eggs, meat, and other goods straight from local farmers. This week was special because it was my youngest daughter's birthday. Since her party is later in the month, I gave her a budget and let her roam the market to buy whatever she wanted. Mostly chocolate and sweets. After an hour, I started to worry. Just as I was about to call her, she called me, crying. She said some strange women had cornered her. I rushed to her with my older daughter and found 6 older women berating her for being unchristian, for not wanting to spend time with her paternal grandparents, or for not being a good big sister to her poor orphan baby brothers. It's important to note, my daughters were the ones who discovered their dad's affair and the existence of the babies. They're traumatized and are working through it with a therapist. I stepped between the group and my daughter, told my eldest to go pay for her sister's stuff and head to the car, and then I turned to the women. Some I recognized from when we attended my ex-in-law's church. I absolutely let them have it. They told me I was worse for not obeying my ex-in-laws like a good Christian wife. Barf. The scene got so loud we were all asked to leave the market. The women followed me to the car like vultures, but I managed to get in and drive away. Later that night, after the girls were asleep, I reached out to a church member I'm still on good terms with. After apologizing on the church's behalf, he told me what was really going on. Apparently, my ex Amiel had posted a huge sob story in the church's Facebook group, painting me and my daughters as villains. She claimed we had left her and her husband homeless and penniless, even though my daughters inherited my ex's personal bank account and life insurance, and that we refused to even speak to them. She also blamed us for her losing custody of her grandsons, who are now living with distant relatives of my ex. It was a tearjerker worthy of a Hallmark movie, and she was getting tons of support from the more extreme church members. This church has always been frustrating, especially when it comes to LGBTQ+ topics, but they are very strict about cheating, equally for husbands and wives. So, how did my ex Amiel explain the existence of the affair children without exposing the cheating? She claimed the other woman was our surrogate, and that I rejected the babies because they were boys. That accusation is both disgusting and completely false. That's when I decided it was time to clean house. Because I was mid-divorce when my ex died, I had all the evidence of his affair, text messages, photos, confessions from his parents, and harassment from my in-laws. And since the divorce hadn't been finalized, I wasn't legally barred from releasing any of it. I was off the next day, so I went to a print shop and made high-quality copies of everything. Photos of my ex cheating. Texts with the affair partner. Messages with his parents supporting his cheating. Emails and texts bullying my daughters, including one calling them bastards and blaming them for their father's death. This was sent 2 days after he died. I paid extra to have everything printed on beautiful, high-quality paper. Then I spent hours at home making personalized binders, designed to look just like the Little Hymn booklets the church uses. The cover page? A photo of my ex and his affair partner making out in our living room. Their faces are clearly visible, and the woman looks nothing like me, different skin tone and hair color. Underneath, I labeled it, ex-husband's name, and, affair partner's name, a love story. I dropped the binders off at the church before Sunday service, placing them on the back table where people pick up hymn books. They never check them. The gossip mill spun fast and hard. The names my ex and his mistress were called on Facebook were so bad that the pastor had to step in to keep things PG-13. People were outraged at my ex-in-laws for bullying my daughters. But what made me laugh? Even though some still blamed me for the divorce, I was now seen as someone who had merely strayed from the light after the trauma, and could one day return. Unlike my cheating husband and his Jezebel. They used a much worse word, I'm sure. We received 2 apology letters in the mail for my girls and even an invitation to return to the church for support. As for my ex-in-laws? They were shamed into leaving the church entirely. My ex Amiel posted on Facebook about feeling alienated and how no one cares for the elderly anymore. She wrote that she wished her great son was still alive because he would have taken care of them. With what money, I don't know, I was the breadwinner. Quick note on the will. My ex had told me he named our daughters as beneficiaries, but the will actually listed his parents. I never pushed for me to be included. I've always made my daughters the sole beneficiaries in my own will.